Welcome, people of planet Earth and all planets beyond. My name is Josh, and this is a tier ranking of all of the best vintage denim brands. My opinion is obviously the most important opinion on YouTube, so this is the definitive ranking of vintage denim brands. First off, Jordache. Oh, Jordache. Like, this is a women's denim brand, so mostly known for the fact that they made denim cool for women in the 80s, and your mom probably wore them in high school. I mean, I've bought and sold their denim so many times. It's actually kind of trash, to be honest. C tier. See, I mean, they were known for being super tight. That's cool, but there's a bunch of stretch denim in it most of the time, and it sucked. Anyway, Tommy Hilfiger. Okay, this is one I actually like. I like Tommy Hilfiger. Grew up with Tommy Hilfiger, but their denim is not honestly as good as their outerwear and t-shirts and stuff. It can't be S tier, can't be A tier, and honestly, I'm having a hard time putting it in B tier. I love Tommy. Don't get me wrong, but when you think of Tommy, do you think of jeans? Not really. I mean, kinda. But I can't think of a Tommy Hilfiger pair of jeans that I was like, oh, this is a really, really great pair. It fits me well. Unfortunately, C tier. That's what I'm thinking. C tier. Sorry, Tommy. If this was just 90s fashion, or big jackets or something, you'd be higher. But not today. The Levi's Orange Tab. Now, Levi's Orange Tab ran from 30 years as a line, and they had their ups and their downs, but basically they came out as a fashion. This is just Levi's opportunity to make things fashionable and cool and cheaper. So less rivets, more fashion forward. And so a lot of people complain about that, versus the red tab. They're just not high quality, blah, blah, blah. They fall apart, blah, blah. But honestly, this is where the bell bottoms were. All the bells, Orange Tab had some really great design. So I'm actually debating between S tier and A tier. This is a tough one. I'm gonna go A tier. A tier is safe. Fight me, but I think A tier. The Orange Tab line has so many different interesting characteristics and different versions and varieties that they have. I think they're worth being in A tier. Lee Pipes. I think Lee Pipes are underrated, to be completely honest. Lee Pipes, in fact, I don't find Lee Pipes very much in the thrift store, which is kind of unusual. Obviously, they were, Levi's, Lee Pipes, Levi's Silver Tab, Jncos, all those big baggy jeans in the late 90s. I think Lee Pipes is not, they don't have the coolest fits, but I thought they were perfectly baggy, perfectly stylish, but not cutting, bleeding edge of fashion. So B tier. Let's go Guess Denim. Guess Denim. Bet you can't guess what's in them. Guess Denim also, like Jordache to some degree, was all about being super, super skinny, tight, and sexy for women. Men's jeans, they just didn't really ever have anything that was super interesting. They did do a lot of different colors and stuff, so the variety of what they contributed to in the 80s and 90s was kind of important. So in terms of women's jeans, I think they're actually pretty good. I think they're better than Jordache. They're not as they got rid of they didn't have any flares. Everything was super tapered and tight. So I think in terms of good 80s jeans, I think Guess is probably at least B tier on this one. All right, Plain Pockets. Plain Pockets. You know what Plain Pockets are? Plain Pockets is JCPenney's rip-off brand. They make basically consumer level denim in the 60s, 70s, 80s. I'm not sure if they were in the 50s. I could be wrong. They may have done it under a different name at that point. But Plain Pockets. Actually, I don't think they make very many good rip-offs. Honestly. I picked up a number of pairs. I've worn a few pairs that they're supposed to be sort of straight leg, kind of ripping off the 505 or something from Levi's. I don't think they're that good. C tier. All right, next up, Carhartt. Now, Carhartt, you don't always think of denim when you think of Carhartt. They sort of cornered the market with duck canvas and stuff like that. And so that's really where they shine. So, but I think their denim is surprisingly undervalued and underweighed. I certainly don't think they're C tier. They were making denim and clothing for a certain segment of people, and they designed it for that. And so I think if you're, obviously everyone's like wants the double fronts right now. So double fronts people think are cool. It's funny to me because double fronts are now cool, but when I was like in the early 2000s, when I was like hopping freight trains and stuff, we always wanted double fronts. And so I think if you're talking about some double front denim, if you're talking about some of their carpenter jeans, I think these Carhartts actually do pretty good. I'm going to go B tier. So let's go ahead and let's crown the king. The Levi's red tab, of course, it has to be S tier, right? It's the tab that started it all for Levi's, or in terms of tabs. The 505, the 501, all the standard high quality, best, they sell for the most. Like vintage, in terms of vintage, the red tab is the king. So S tier for the red tab. Congratulations. We all knew it was going to happen. Yay. I'm going to talk about another pair of jeans right here, a pair of jean company that I think gets that doesn't get as much love in terms of their 90s denim jeans, and that's Calvin Klein. I don't understand why Calvin Klein vintage denim jeans don't sell for more. I don't understand why they're sort of, crapped on, but I actually think in terms of like 90s style, Calvin Klein made some really good jeans. They were light, but they were still strong enough. They weren't like, overly like baggy. They obviously weren't overly like stiff. They weren't made for work. They were made for like looking sexy and cool and picking up chicks in, I guess. But I think they're actually good. I'm going to put them A tier. Fight me. Calvin Klein denim jeans, A tier. Mostly because of like cool 90s clothing, But I think they're there. I think Calvin Klein denim from the 90s deserves to be A tier. Fight me. Next up, Rustler. Okay, Rustler, if you don't know, is a subsidiary of Wrangler. I absolutely abhor these jeans. They're absolutely everywhere. They are literally just all across the world. You find them. But, they make decent quality jeans. Like, if you are a working man and you buy your clothes from Walmart and you need them to work, Rustler jeans get the job done. So I want to put them in D tier because I get so annoyed with them. But they have D tier. D tier, Rustlers in D tier. Fight me. D tier. See you later, Rustler. Bam. Roasted. All right, so speaking of Wrangler, let's go ahead and let's tackle Wrangler. Wrangler's been around since like 1947. Originally owned by Bluebell. What's interesting about Wrangler has like hardly ever changed their designs. Like they changed from left-handed twill to right-handed twill like in the 60s. And then basically a pair of Wranglers from that time till now, you might not be able to tell the difference. Screw it, Wrangler, you're in C tier. This video is sponsored by WeBuyOldJeans.com. If you've got vintage denim that you're trying to sell, trying to offload, check them out. They offer fair pricing, great with appraisals and fair dealings. I do not recommend anyone else other than these guys. These guys are the best in the business. Don't send them their Jncos because they're not interested in Jncos. But if you have vintage Levi's, Wrangler, stuff like that, that's 40 plus years old or so, they'll definitely be wanting to hear from you. So check out WeBuyOldJeans.com today. All right, next up, Foremost Denim Jeans. This was a subsidiary of JCPenney's. This was their sort of knockoff brand. I actually think Foremost is a fantastic. If you're looking for like a lesser, cheaper version of like vintage selvage denim from like the 40s, 50s, 60s, I think Foremost Denim is a great buy. I think they're a high quality jean. They feel good. They wear really nice. You know what? I'm going A tier for Foremost. Fight me. Oshkosh. Oshkosh. This is kind of interesting because Oshkosh is not really known for their jeans. They're known for like their overalls when it comes to denim. And honestly, I don't wear overalls. So Oshkosh, I think, kind of have to go to C. No, you know what? D tier. D tier Oshkosh. I'm sorry, Oshkosh Bagosh. This is not about little kid overalls. This is about adult clothing, and I don't think your adult clothing's all that great, even the vintage stuff. So D tier for you. Next up, we have Maverick. Mavericks another subsidiary of Wrangler. Wrangler loved making subsidiary. Well, I take that back. Maverick is a subsidiary of Bluebell. Wrangler was a subsidiary of Bluebell as well. But what's interesting is Maverick basically just copied Wrangler designs, but did them cheaper and sold them for less. So it's this really weird thing where Bluebell was like making the popularity of Wrangler grow, and then just making their stuff cheaper with Maverick. But I have to say that I think Maverick's kind of underrated. They kind of have this like, a lighter, trendier, like slimmer fitting style than Wrangler. And like you were a cowboy base. It's still cowboy clothing, but it's not. You were like a cowboy that didn't actually do anything cowboy. Just wanted to look cowboy. So I appreciate the grind. So B tier for Maverick, to be honest, completely honest. All right, now we're getting down to some of the juicy stuff here. We've got Payday. Payday's an old school brand. I think they were basically gone by the 50s or 60s. Their stuff's not great. I don't particularly care for it, so we're going to go C tier on that one. Headlight. Headlight's another really old one. They got bought out by Carhartt and like the 60s. They were bought by Carhartt, and then Carhartt also bought Fink, and they kind of combined them together. I actually think it's okay. They're okay. They're pretty good jeans. It's pretty cool. They've got a really cool history. The graphics are cool. I like the logo. That's why I'm going to go with this one. The logo is cool. We're going to go B tier for that one. A lot of B tiers. There's a lot of, bridesmaids without, not being the bride. So let's move on to Lee. Let's go ahead and tackle Lee. Lee. Okay. The big three, right? Wrangler, Levi's, Lee. I actually think out of all those three, I think obviously Levi's is the number one. How are you going to argue with it? But if you're fighting for second, I'm going to take Lee every day of the week, honestly. I think Lee's jeans are cool. I like how they fit. Their jackets are probably some of the coolest denim jackets. They're actually cooler, in my opinion, than the Levi's jackets, than the Wrangler jackets. In fact, you know what? As I'm thinking about this, Lee's S tier. Lee denim jeans is S tier. They are originally from Kansas City, Kansas side of Kansas City, but close to me. They're a regional brand. Now they're a powerhouse. We're gonna go in terms of vintage clothing. We're gonna go S tier, superior. Sue me. Next up, we got Hercules. Hercules, I believe, was a subsidiary company or brand of Sears. I actually really like them. Their stuff, I think they're a little bit more workwear oriented. But I love the name Hercules Denim, Hercules jeans, like Hercules workwear. Like that sounds, like it could get some work done. So we're gonna go A tier. A tier for Hercules. Silver Tab. This is to me an easy one. Silver Tab. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on these days with big baggy jeans. So who's going to win? Is it going to be Silver Tab or Jncos? Jncos obviously took it to the most extreme. Silver Tab was a bit more modest. They had some big jeans, but they wanted to be the everyman's baggy jean. For every skateboarder's baggy jean, not just the ones that wanted to get hog all the attention. So I appreciate that about them. So we're gonna go Silver Tab. Oh gosh, but B tier for Silver Tab. Sue me, because you know what? At Jnco, S tier. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Here's why. Jnco's S tier because they were the best at what they did, right? Like when you think of baggy, wide leg, outrageous clown pants, you think of Jnco. You don't think of Silver Tab. Silver Tab's the person is the guy that comes around, and says, "Hey, what about me?" And tries to get some of their territory. I think Jnco's number one here, right? It has to be. If you're talking big baggy clown jeans, Jnco's number one. Hands down. Silver Tab doesn't hold a candle. Lee Pipes, not bad. But now that I'm thinking about it, who do I like better, Lee Pipes or Silver Tab? They can't both be B's. you're right. They can't both be Bs. They gotta move. Lead pipes goes to A. Lead pipe at A. Revision. I think it's worth it. It makes sense to me. This is the definitive list. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with more lists. And hopefully I can make you guys angry and upset. Meet me in the comments. Meet me in the comments, bro. Peace.